So, if you're an employer here in Japan, did you know there's a government program that will literally pay you to support new fathers on your team? Well, there is. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how to navigate Japan's paternity leave subsidy.
First, we'll touch on why this is such a huge opportunity. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty, what the subsidy actually is, if your company can even get it, how to apply, and of course, how much cash you can get. Then we'll wrap it all up with the key action steps you need to take.
All right, let's start with the big picture. For a lot of companies in Japan, there's this real challenge, right? How do you build a culture where new dads feel like they can actually use the paternity leave they're entitled to? You know, this isn't just a social thing. It really hits your employee retention and even your company's reputation.
And that brings us to the million-dollar question for employers. How in the world do you support new fathers financially and really encourage them to take that time off without it blowing a hole in your budget?
Well, the answer comes from a really powerful financial tool that the Japanese government has put in place. It's designed to fix this exact problem for companies just like yours.
So what is this program exactly? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a financial partnership with the government, one that's all about helping you support your team.
Okay, so the official name is the Childbirth and Child Care Support Course, or in Japanese, the Shuseiji Ryoritsushien Kosu. But let's just cut through the jargon. It's simple. It is a cash subsidy paid directly to you, the employer, when you build a supportive workplace and have a male employee take 5 or more days of paternity leave in a row. That's the trigger.
Now for the really important part. Can your company get it? Let's run through a quick checklist and see if you tick all the boxes.
First things first, you've got to have what's called a work-life balance action plan. Now, the key here is that this can't just be some document sitting on a server. Oh no, you need to have officially registered it with your local labor bureau. And it has to be public and easy for all of your employees to find. Everyone has to know about it.
And it's not just about the paperwork. You also need the right stuff happening inside your company. We're talking about training on childcare leave, especially for your managers. You need a formal way for employees to ask questions and get advice. And you should be actively sharing stories of other people in the company who've taken leave. It's really all about building that culture of support from the ground up.
Okay, so let's say you've got all that in place. You're eligible. The next step is the application itself. Let's walk through the main parts together so it's not so intimidating. And to make this super easy, we're going to use the government's own official example form, the Kisaide, as our guide. All right, let's be real for a second. At first glance, this form looks, well, it looks pretty dense, maybe a little scary. But don't worry, it's not nearly as complicated as it looks. We're just going to focus on the key sections you actually need to worry about. First up is Section 1, the Shinsei Jigyonushi, which is just a formal way of saying applicant business owner. This part's a piece of cake. Your company's official name, your representative, and your address. Done. Next, you'll need a couple of key numbers. You'll plug in your employment insurance number and your labor insurance number right here. You also have to state the total number of regular, full-time employees you have. And last but not least, we have Section 6, the Kisai Tantosha, or contact person. Now this is really important. You need to name someone in your company, usually somebody from HR, who can field any questions the Labor Bureau might have about your application. All right, now for the part everybody's been waiting for, the financial payoff. How much money can your company actually get from this whole thing? For the very first male employee who takes paternity leave under this program, your company gets a base subsidy of a cool 200,000 yen.
But hey, that 200,000 yen, that's just the beginning. The government has built in this really powerful incentive. If you can seriously boost your company's overall paternity leave rate, you get even more money. The magic number you're aiming for is a 30 percentage point jump from last year.
Phew, we've covered a lot of ground. So let's boil it all down into a super clear, actionable plan. These are your key takeaways. Okay, here's your checklist. 1. Get your house in order internally with training and support systems. 2. Create and register that official work-life balance action plan. 3. Help a new dad on your team take at least 5 days of leave. 4. Fill out that application carefully. And 5. Keep pushing to get more dads to take leave, because that's how you unlock those extra funds. You know, this really gets to the heart of it. Building a supportive workplace is a total win-win. It's amazing for your employees, it's great for your business, and this is the best part, there's actual money from the government to help you do it. So the final question is really for you. Now that you know how this works and that there's financial backing, Are you ready to build a better, more supportive workplace?